Hey guys, welcome to Unleash podcast brought to you by Hidden Gen, where we talk about how to unleash your hidden potential. I'm your host, Yuri Diógenes, and we have a great episode for you today featuring Michael Glick. Thank you for being here today, Michael.
Thank you for having me.
Before we jump into today's topic, we would like to invite you to subscribe to this podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. You can always find these podcasts in our website, hiddengen.net. And if you live in the area and you have not been at Hidden Gen, make sure to grab a free trial pass at hiddengen.net. Michael, how are you doing?
Can't complain. Life's good. Heading into the weekend.
Awesome.
How about yourself?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Michael, let's get started here. Today's topic is very interesting, right? It's about this scan. Um, Give us a little overview, and then I'm gonna dig more into other questions. But give us a little overview about this technology.
Of course, of course. Yes, Staiku is it's a 3D body scanner. What the system does is it uses harmless infrared light, which calculates millions of data points of a person's body. Those data points then replicate into a 3D image of that person's body, placed on our software, which is fully interactive. From there, using that image, we can measure 21 different circumferences of the body and then break down body composition from body fat percentage, muscle mass, bone mass, subcutaneous fat, visceral fat, even segment the fat masses within your android and gynoid regions.
And what is the level of accuracy for this if compared to other methods like water and other methods that look for body fat?
Yeah, that's a lot to unpack there. At the end of the day, every system on the market is predicting body composition. The only way to accurately know somebody's body composition is to do an autopsy. So, unfortunately, with an autopsy, we'd have just a bunch of dead clients. Accuracy again is a lot to unpack. What we're looking at is really more or less the precision, but accuracy where Staiku comes into play is 96% accurate to Dexa. And now, if you're familiar with Dexa, Dexa is considered the gold standard on the market. We have correlated our body composition algorithm directly with data taken from Dexa.
Is it true to say that the body scan? Because what happened is I use the one that it has at Hidden Gem. And one of the things
Yeah.
that we were talking about is that for guys that are extremely strong, sometimes it's hard to even be more accurate based on the amount of muscle mass. Is that true?
It's more or less on a scale. So yes and no, right? Any when any company or any algorithm puts together its data, we're the averages are more accurate than the extremes, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're collecting a bunch of data, you're mostly going to find a lot of people who are in the national average, not too overweight, not too, you know, muscular and in fit.
Right.
So of course, yes, our accuracy gets better as we get closer to the middle and kind of get a little bit of a higher variance as you get further out to the extremes.
Is this software running that will process this data using any type of machine learn to adapt to change in different clientele?
We do use AI. This is collecting data as we go. As we collect more data from Dexa as well, we continuously correlate results.
Oh, so it actually gets better with time.
It should, yes.
And as far as what is your recommendation for keep tracking of your, body fat? Is like once every month, once a quarter?
Yeah,
How would be the ideal, cadence to measure that?
I'd suggest once a month, right? We want to stay engaged. We want to keep track of progress. Every 3 weeks to a month, come and get yourself a body scan and, see all those results. 100%.
Okay, awesome, awesome. What else does this machine gives besides the body fat?
Yeah. Well, body fat, again, muscle mass, bone mass, subcutaneous fat, visceral fat. And the other big benefits of it is the actual measurables, the circumferences,
Mm.
right? A lot of trainers and a lot of customers, it can be sometimes a cumbersome, invasive process when you're getting hand measurements. Both ends of it don't really enjoy it. With Staiku, it's measuring the body in a completely non-invasive way, also providing you a more reliable method on getting the measurements as well. Sometimes when people are getting measured, compared to the first time they were hand measured, the trainer or the expert might pull too light or too tight compared to the first time they did. So Staiku can be a much more reliable method as you're seeing change in circumferences in comparison to human measurements. Not to mention, Staiku also provides obesity-related disease risk factors. It helps understand the health-centric conversation as to why we're getting into better shape,
Mm-hmm.
right? As we're shedding inches off our waist, we are lowering our risk for things like cancer and cardiovascular disease and respiratory disease, diabetes, severity of symptoms of pathogens, right? So it builds into both conversations together.
Does it also give you the metabolic rate?
We will predict your BMR, yes, based around the revised Harris-Bennett equation.
Oh, okay, okay. So it is more like a prediction because you're not really doing a deep exam to evaluate that, right?
Yeah, you would need something like a VO2 max, something along those lines, to be able to actually test their breathing rate,
Mm-hmm.
to get an actual measurement of their metabolic rate.
Nice. The
Yeah.
data that is collected, it is stored in your own profile, is fully private.
So, as the results are collected, right, when a client comes in and scans, they will have their individual profile within the software. With that software or with that profile comes all their scans will populate in their individual profile. So the only people that will have access to that information will be the end user as well as the trainer or the owner of the system.
And if I do that, like as you suggest, once a month, and I log into my profile, do I get some statistics, some reports saying how my progress is, or do I have to compare that myself?
So generally, the way Staiku works is more of a conversation between the trainer and the end user, right? As a tool to be able to work together, to be able to navigate through your results and adjust based around what your needs are like and what your results are like. So Staiku is a very client-facing experience, again, between the trainer and the end user. So to get the best results from this, we would suggest, going with your trainer, reviewing all the results hand in hand, and getting their expert opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Staiku also has a reporting side to it where an emailed report can be emailed out. It breaks down all your change based off of percentages and net losses or gains. And you can review those results at home. And there's a little bit of information about what some of it means.
Oh, okay, so I understand that we can review that with the trainer, but me as a client, I will have access to that data if I want to just log on and take a look, right?
All the reports are sent to the person's email. As far as logging into anything, that's done directly through the application that runs the system
Oh, okay.
in
So
the
there
gym.
is no like a front end via web that I can access that information.
Not currently,
Oh,
no.
okay. Okay, that's a
Yep.
interesting feature request to put on the backlog there.
We actually think that we look to say that we want the interactivity behind the software to be held by the gym,
Hmm.
right? Because it creates the experience that the gym has. It would be nice for the end user to have an application, of course, but we wouldn't want to limit the experience that the gym has with the system.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I understand that the gym is the main gateway for that. I was more thinking about, it could be an app on the phone that just retrieve the core information so I could have access, something light, no, right? And if you need deeper information, then you have to go through the gym. But because I think that nowadays there are so many things that you can do from your phone, so it'll be interesting to have some sort of front end on the phone if possible.
Hopefully someday.
Yeah, yeah. How long you guys been with this system out there? Is more than a year, 2 years,
We've been on the market for 10
10
years.
years? This system, really?
10 years.
Wow,
Yes. Yeah.
wow.
We're a growing brand. The industry is really starting to adopt 3D body scanning. And I'd say we've been exponentially growing over the past 2 to 3 years, a lot faster than the earlier
Yeah,
years.
because I think that now is way more affordable. In the past was we I didn't see that in Evergen, or it was not so affordable like it is today.
Yeah. Yeah. The cost of the system has gone down quite a bit. And I think it's just the effectiveness of how we implement it into a gym, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the strategy like behind it? And owners coming to adopt new technologies at this point as they expand. Uh, Prior to Staiku, the only really conducive method to a gym and bringing in body composition was bioimpedance. And I mean, that's a whole other
Yeah.
conversation. But gym owners are starting to look elsewhere now.
When you are holding, because I did the test, right? So when you are holding that thing on your hand to do the test, is there is anything that is transmitted over that? What is the purpose of that?
Holding your
Like
hands,
when you are doing the, yeah,
when your
yeah,
arms are out in
yeah,
A
yeah.
position. Yes. Um, so when you're scanning, you're not grabbing onto anything, right? But your arms are placed out into an A position because it needs to be the infrared light needs to be able to see within your body, right?
Mm.
So if your arms were over here, it wouldn't be able to measure your chest and your abdominal waist circumference accurately.
And
So
if you
we
put hands up, it will also change a little bit more, right? I guess. So that's why you gotta.
we look for landmarks on the body. When you're scanning, we're looking for landmarks on your shoulders and your bust points and your navel. So we should be able to measure the same exact area, the same accuracy, no matter how low or how high your arms are. Just as long as they're in our digital handlebars within the cones, I guess is
Hmm.
what we can call
No, I would say that I been there at Hidden Gym doing this, and it was a very pleasant experience. It was fast, very fast.
it. Yeah.
I think it doesn't take even a minute or so. It's really fast, and the results will come up really fast too. So the processing of the system to generate the results is pretty fast as well. It was really good experience. The report is extremely detailed. I love it. Yeah, I love the fact that also gives the 3D picture.
Yep.
It's really really amazing. What is on the pipeline as far as improvements that you think is coming? Maybe next year or something. Do you have anything in mind that you can share?
Unfortunately, I'm limited on what I can talk about on that aspect, but I can tell you that Staiku is consistently developing, innovative. We are an innovative company, and we're trying to keep up with the industry and be thought leaders. And there's some really incredible stuff that can be done with the same hardware. Infrared light is it's there's a growing understanding behind it. So it's very, very exciting as to see what can come from our technology.
All right, you cannot say specifics, but what you are basically saying is there are cool things coming up.
Yes. Very, very cool things coming
All
up.
right, that's good. That's good. Because, as you said, the hardware is capable of doing a lot of things. Is more a matter of the software to extract and take advantage of that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Love it.
the whole roadmap is on the software itself. Now, how
Yeah.
it really works? Let's say if I have a gym, do I have to go to the website and contact you guys? And is a rent system? How that work? Or I have to buy the equipment?
Yeah, there is a capital purchase for the hardware, and then there is a subscription to our software. If anybody's actually interested in purchasing, they contact us directly. There is, a portal on our website. You submit an inquiry. It'll connect you with one of our sales development representatives, and we'll work you through the entire program, hardware through software, build a plan around what your needs are like and what your budget's like, and go from there.
So you have to purchase. You have to purchase the hardware. There is no option to like rent.
Yes, yes, it is all purchase.
Okay, so the hardware you purchase, and then you do a subscription for the software.
Correct.
Okay, that's interesting. That's good. What is the website again?
It is going to be www.styku.com. That's STYKU.
Okay, and there you don't have information about pricing there. You have to contact you guys directly, right?
Yes.
Okay. Um, to do this, to have such equipment in-house, do you need a big space, or you don't really need a huge space to accommodate that?
Little space, actually. This is going to be 6 by 4.3 feet of space. Generally, a mid-sized closet, things along those lines. We always suggest putting it in its own room, its own space.
Hmm.
Make Styku's experience private and experience. They come in and they walk into this Styku assessment room, or the hidden gym assessment room,
Hmm.
something along those lines. Brand it. Make it an experience and have them feel comfortable, getting on the scanner and running through the entire process hand in hand.
And when you are doing the scan itself, you always recommend to be like underwear, and in case of women, sports bra and the underwear. That's the idea. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, there's no infrared light doesn't see through anything, right? It bounces off what it sees and gets sent back to the sensor. So we will require form-fitting clothing to get accurate measurements. Sports bra leggings for women. Men would wear boxer briefs and no shirt. Undergarments work just fine.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. And at this infrared, there is any is not doesn't have any side effect, right? If I do multiple times, like you suggest, like once a month, can I get this infrared on my body every month? No problem.
You could scan 500 times a day. There's no limitations. There's no radiation involved with infrared light. It's the same exact as the sunlight.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really see it. It's almost like invisible too. Because I was expecting something really red coming, but it's not, right? It's very light.
It is, yeah. You will not be able to see the light rays coming out of the sensor.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'll tell you, I was impressed with the results. Of course, my first question was the body fat, because I saw, right, some discrepancy, because last time I did the underwater one, and from what the people say, underwater one seems to be the most accurate ever, right?
Yeah. There's a lot to be said. Again, accuracy is tough. When you look at hydrostatic weighing, the algorithm is based around what's called the Siri equation. And the Siri equation actually averages a population's muscle and bone density. And we understand that actually there's not really an average. Muscle and bone density really much varies from person to person. So it's a generalized algorithm in a sense. Um, Really, from what I know, the gold standard is Dexa. And the reason why Dexa is considered the gold standard is because its correlations between bone density and the rest of the body composition is direct with MRI.
Oh,
That's
okay.
how they develop their algorithms. Now, MRI can actually see fat. So that's where their correlations come into play. Um, so it's again it's in a way accuracy can be very much subjective, right? What do you consider accurate? But there are studies that show Dexa is the gold standard.
But do you have any kind of pattern to say? Because I remember when I did mine, it was a value that I thought it was high, because I was in pre-contest. I was very lean for the number that they gave. And I remember
Right.
talking to Greg. He said, "No, I think you need to subtract like 4% or something like that." So, do you have some sort of pattern to say usually is what you get -4% or -5%, or it varies?
It varies. It's hard to say. We'll see. It again. It's very hard to say. With the extremes, we can be a couple points off. My suggestion to you is to go get a DEXA scan. Go try it out. Go see what the number comes up with Dexa, and then scan again on Staiku, and compare the results.
Good point.
We should fall within 96%.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. And as far as being affordable, I think that you guys are way more affordable for this cadence of once a month than Dexa, right? Dexa is expensive.
Dexa yeah. I mean, if you're a consumer and you want to go get a DEXA scan, I've seen upwards to $150, $200 a month, and look, if you want to buy a DEXA scan, you're spending $60 to $100,000. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so
Jesus Christ.
very different. It's a very different technology. DEXA also needs to be ran by a medically trained professional in most states. It uses X-rays, so it's limiting. It's not super conducive to a general gym environment.
Yeah. No, you guys are doing great. Again, I love the experience. It was really good. The software, the report, everything was great. And it would be just nice to see. And again, this probably will be something that will come up at some point. But if you are doing every month, it would be nice to have some sort of a progress report built in, right? Just to see, because I know you're gonna review with your trainer, but bake into the profile of the user.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you done a second scan yet?
Not the second one yet.
Yeah. So when you do a second scan, we can actually generate a progress report, and it can be emailed to you or printed out on site. It's a PDF. It's not
Yeah.
going to be very interactive, but it breaks down all the change, before and afters, comparative results, percent changes, net losses or
Oh,
gains.
that's great. I didn't know you can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So once you do your second scan, have them generate a progress
So
report
you
for
just
you.
need to ask them to send the progress report. Oh,
Yes.
that's great. That's really good because it helps to compare and see the progress and everything. So really good, really good. What else do you have as far as product? Is that the only product that you guys lead with, or do you have any other thing?
That is our main focus. I mean, we do sell a travel kit as well. The system is a fully portable system.
Hmm.
And that's a big benefit of Staiku, right? A lot of companies will take the system and bring it outside the confines of their business and go to marketing events and community events and scan people outside the gym. So the system weighs just under 36 pounds, right? It's a very easy setup. It should take a minute or two just to plug everything in and you're set up. So we sell a travel kit. The tower will go in a handbag and the platform will go in a backpack, and you can take the laptop and put it in the backpack as
Oh,
well.
wow, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a two-seater Infinity. I literally throw the tower in my front seat and the platform in the backpack in the back seat. I mean, that's how lightweight and portable it is.
Wow, that's awesome. And then when you get to the place, setting up is pretty straightforward.
Very
Do
straightforward.
you have to
Yeah.
have internet connection?
You will have to have Wi-Fi to connect, though a hotspot from your phone will work just fine as well.
Okay, because that once once you scan, the information actually go to the cloud, right? To your cloud database, probably.
It does, yes. It will get stored in our cloud servers. That way you always have access to your scans as well. So if something happens to the computer and we need to repopulate the scans there, you always have access
So
to
on
it.
the local computer, you just have the software installed, basically.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, that's great. Pretty cool. Mike, thank you very much. I think it was a very enlightening conversation about this. A lot of people don't know about this system, so I think it helps to bring awareness about what you guys doing and knowing that Hidden Gym has this assessment room, actually very comfortable, very private, and very fast. So great work there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. Thank you very
Yeah.
much, everyone, for tuning in to Unleash Podcast, and see you again next time.